Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Now we meet again under topic index number. Now previously we have learned on unweightage index number. So under unweightage index number, you have three types of index number. You have simple relative index number, you have simple average index number, and the last one is unweightage aggregate index or simple aggregate index number. So now we move on to another hard subtopic, which is weightage index number. Now for your information, weighting factor can be thought as an indicator of the importance of the component. So under weightage index, we will learn on average weightage index and aggregate index. And under this aggregate index, you will learn on three types of aggregate index, which are fixed weightage, less payers, and Paget index. These are the steps that you need to follow in order to find weightage average index. First thing that you have to do is you calculate a simple relative index. So recall back the formula for simple relative index is, if you use price, it will be price at the current year divided by price at the base year times with 100. Once you have found this information for each product or item or component, then followed with calculate the weightage average index. So here I denote as WAV, weightage average relative index. The formula will be summation of weightage times with index divided by summation of weightage. So now we look at example here. The following data give details of the mix, price, and standard quantities used in making dough. So in table, there are component of mix A, B, and C, the price in RM for the year 1 and year 2, and the standard quantity. For weightage average, the weight will be given. So what you have to do, again recall back, step 1, you have to calculate for simple relative index. Let me show you how you should do for component A. So find your I here, your simple relative index. So for the component of mix A, the price index for this will be price at the current year divided by price at the base year. So it will be RM 3 ringgit, RM3 divided by RM 1.5 times with 100. So here you will get 200. Proceed with the next component, component B, 25 cent divided by 3 ringgit 40 cent times with 100, and you will get 125. For component of mix C, it should be RM 8.84 divided by RM 10.4 times with 100, and you will get 85. Once you have this information, you create a column for weightage times with index. So here is the weightage for each component. So the first one here, it should be 8 times with 200, and that's why you will get 1600. 125 times with 3, you will get 375, and 85 times with 1, you will get 85. So you sum all of this column as well as weightage column. So here you will get 2060 divided by 12, and this is the value of weightage average of relative. As for fixed aggregate index, the formula will be here. Summation of weightage times with price at the current year divided by summation of weightage times with price at the base year times with 100. To obtain this information, I create two columns. This column will be weightage times with price at the base year, and the next one is weightage times with price at the current year. How do you get 12 here? It will be weightage 8 times with RM 1.5, that's why you will get 12. Proceed until you have finished for component C for weightage times with price at the base year, and then you do for price at the current year times with weightage. So again, 24 you will get from 8 times with 3. For 12.75, it will be 3 times with 4.25 ringgit. And for 8.84 here is 1 times with RM 8.84. So you total up this column for weightage times with price at the base year, and then you find summation of price at the current year times with weightage. So once you have find this information for both column, you substitute your information in this formula. Always give your index number into decimal point. Okay, now we move on to another two types of weightage aggregates index, which is less payers and Pache. Now, in your final exam, you only be given these two formula. You have to take note on how to compute for formula on quantity less payers as well as quantity for Pache. Okay, we look first on less payers. The weightage for less payers price will be Q now. While for quantity, the weightage will be price at the base year. So here, less payers use base year as the weightage. Meanwhile, for Pache, the price and quantity use information of the current year as their weightage. So if you look at price, here the weightage will be quantity at the current year, and for quantity, the price at the current year will be its weightage. And less payers is the most common real life practice used worldwide. Since we have the information of the base year. While for Pache, it's a time-consuming method because you have to wait information of the current year. Now you look back at less payers and Pache formula. If you see here, this information, the nominator at the price less payers index, summation of PT times with P0 can also occur at the quantity Pache on the denominator of quantity Pache. So let me draw some information. So this will be equals to this. And for quantity less payers, the nominator is the same as the price Pache for denominator. Price Pache and quantity Pache, the nominator for both are the same. They are using the same formula. While for less payers price and quantity, the denominator are the same between both. So if you look at the green color here, means that you have to extract 4 information from this equation. So my advice, if you have to calculate for less payers and Pache, create 4 columns which include these 4 formula. To have a better understanding of how you're going to conduct less payers and Pache index number, so we move on to the next slides on your example. The table below shows the average price and quantity of 3 different products sold at Anggrek Pharmacy. So here is the price and here is the quantity for 2016 and 2017. And you have 3 products, E1, E2 and A3. Okay, using 2016 as the base year, so this will be your base year, this will be your current year. Calculate the less payers quantity index and explain the value obtained. And another one, determine the Pache price index and explain its meaning. So I will show you how you are going to obtain the less payers and Pache index. So this is the information from the previous example. So here is price at the current year, price at the base year, quantity at the base year, quantity at the current year. So here you need to create 4 columns based on this green arrow. So I have created this 4 columns. So look at here, it will be price at the base year times with quantity at the base year. So here, P now times with Q now. So this is your P now and this is your Q now. So it will be 20 times with 1200. So this is the value that you get. You do for E2 and E3. Once you have finished this one, do not forget to find your summation of these 3 items for this column. So 66,500 give you the value for P now times with Q now. The next column is P now times with QT. So this is your P now and this is your QT. So the first product you want will be 20 times with 1500. So this is the value that you get. Find for product E2 and E3. Once you have find for this information, do not forget to find the summation for P null times with QT. Here are the value for P null times with QT. Proceed for the next column, PT times with Q null and PT times with QT. Here are the calculations that I have done for PT and times with Q null and PT times with QT. So recall back the formula for less payers quantity index is total QT times with P now divided by total Q now times with P now times with 100. So we have the information here. This is summation of P now, Q now, summation of P now, QT, summation of PT, Q now, and summation of PT, QT. So we extract the information for this part. QT times with P now. So this is the information. And for this part, the information will be this. Okay, we substitute the information from these two into this formula. So here it will be 81,000 divided by 66,500 times with 100. So the value that you will get is 121.80. Remember, I have mentioned previously in previous class, the index number should be into decimal form. So what is this value means? 121.80. Now, in general, if you have value of index greater than 100, therefore, there is an increase in price or quantity. If the value of index that you obtain is less than 100, therefore, there is a decrease in price or quantity. The quantity of the products has increased by 21.80% from 2016 to 2017. Okay, that is how you calculate for less payers index. So the next part, we need to calculate for partial price index. So the formula will be summation of price at the current year times with quantity at the current year divided by summation of price at the base year times with quantity at the current year times with 100. So for the nominator, the information will be obtained in here. While for denominator, the information is here. Substitute these two values into this formula. And the partial price index for these three products is 130.74. So this value means that the price of three products increased by 30.74% for the year 2017 in comparison to 2016. So now let us recall back what you need to do when you need to calculate for less payers or partial price or quantity index. Create 4 column for P null times with Q null, P null times with QT, PT times with Q null, and PT times with QT. This information helps you to clear up what you need to find for this index information. Now we look at the comparison of less payers index and partial index. Less payers index use base year as the weightage, while the partial index use current information as their weightage. As we have information from the previous year, so it involves less time and less cost compared to partial where we have to wait to get the new or current information. So we need more time and it costs us more. If you look at the denominator under less payers index, you can see that the denominator only have to be calculated once throughout the series. However, for partial, the denominator is changes. Why? Because you need to wait for current information. So that's why it changed from period to period. Less payers index does not take into consideration changes in consumption pattern. While for partial, it combines the effect of changes in price and consumption pattern.